We're just getting started today, and we're going to start putting the saw back together. It's in its resting place in my other shop, so I don't have to move it anymore, which is awesome. So I'm going to bolt down the top first. We'll probably give this a bit of a clean up, and then we'll start the assembly. Some of the parts are still at my other shop, but I don't really need them right now, so let's just have at her. All right. And 11/16 there. 5. Yep, good. Okay, just making sure that the blade is parallel with the bed. And now we can snug her down. Time to get down and dirty here. Alright, so I've got one of those fiber discs on here. This one has to be a purple one, I think, which is coarse. But it's going to do a nice job of polishing this up, I'm pretty sure. So let's give it a try. Gonna get dusty, so make sure you're wearing a mask. Wow, does that ever do a beautiful job? I'm having fun. Amazing what this fiber disc is doing. You can see the difference there, and you notice that I've been doing nice long strokes there. That keeps everything nice and even, so you don't have some different swirl marks. That turned out really good. Oh, got a little bit more to finish. All right, let's keep this thing protected now that I've got it this nice. I did not expect it to turn out as good as it did. Kind of almost looks brand new. Oh, I already got a sock in here. So basically, any good old tabletop or saw top, make sure you give it a little bit of wax to protect it. Keep it from rusting. All right, we got the outfeed tables kind of flanged together here, and they're kind of right in the position. I've, you know, I got everything set up for my fence. It's going to work out really good. So now, basically, we just have to build the tops. So that's going to happen tomorrow, and hopefully everything's going to go real smooth on that one, and we'll have this done in no time. We'll fire it up, throw some wood through it. All right, see you tomorrow. Now that we got the structure sitting, everything's all looking good, we need to build some tops now. So I'm just basically using some 5/8 particle board, and I'm going to cut everything to size, build up the edges so that they're 1 1/4, and then we can start laminating and putting a top on. Exciting times. Well, let's get at her. All right, we're just finishing up trimming out here on the big piece. Got a couple more to go here. And, you know, some of them are a little wider to work, you know, with the legs, and, you know, each, you know, your top's going to be different than my top, sure. But easy enough to do, that's for sure. I'm using 1-inch brads. I thought I could angle in some 1 1/4s, but it's leaving a little mark on the back side or on the top side that I'm going to have to fix now. So don't do that. The glue's gonna, that's what's going to hold everything together. The brads are only there to temporarily hold everything. Okay, we got a couple little chips along the edge, and you know, sometimes that's almost impossible to avoid. But this is how I fix it. I use a little auto body filler. Now this happens to be a 2-part putty, but you can use really any auto body filler will work, as long as it's a 2-part. You don't want to have anything that's kind of single stage. Thing with that is it just takes too long to dry. This will be ready to go in 10-15 minutes. I can sand her down and then you can laminate right over top. This stuff here, if you're a woodworker and you're into painting, buy some of this. This will change the way you do everything. Because it fills up voids in the wood like fast. No issues. Way better than a wood filler. Now the whole idea on my tops, I want to use this T-molding to go all the way around. I'm actually going to round these corners off here. But on the very front where it goes up against the table saw, I'm actually just going to put a piece of laminate up here. Just like that. Now, what I've set up, let's just zoom out. So I'm trying something new. I really am not a big fan of unfun, and I hate rolling glue. It's just not much fun at all. So anyway, I bought a gun. This is just a cheapie with a fairly large tip on it. This is actually a 2.3. And we're using a solvent-based contact cement. So make sure your windows are open. Or if you're doing something big, we're wearing a mask for the bigger one. And I thinned it out a little bit. Now I know some of your purists are probably going like, you can't don't be doing that. But I don't think it's going to hurt it, and I'm going to give it a shot. So, see how she works. Contact cement to set up, so we just want to carefully put it on. Sure don't screw it up. I think that's going to be fine and dandy. And I'm just going to use a roller here. Kind of in your way. See if I can do it left-handed. Oh yeah. Alright, time to trim her out. Now
I got my little router set up here, and I've just got a little flush trimming bit here. And this is actually one for laminate. It doesn't have a bearing, but you can use one with the bearing. And we'll just go around and trim this off. Alright, let's put some laminate on this little outfeed table here. Okay, somehow I missed gluing this up. I just dropped her down and rolled her out. Didn't have my camera rolling. I put a new battery in and everything. Anyway, you're gonna see it on the next one anyway. So I got the top on. Looks good. I usually have quite a bit of overhang when I do my stuff, just so that I know that I'm not gonna screw up. Really doesn't matter unless you're really tight. So now we can trim this up. All right, we have to run our bearing along our laminate over here. Now, who has burnt their laminate with their router bit before? Here's the tip. Got this from my little brother. He used to do this. You just take some cooking spray, little shot, and basically all you're doing is just putting a little bit of lube on the laminate. And now your bearing won't burn the laminate. So this is our bit that we got to make our groove with. Now, of course, I've got a sacrificial piece that I've been playing with just to get the exact right height that I need. And you want to be doing that. I'll show you my piece. Of course, it used to be bigger than this, but I just made my cut here, made sure that it fit nice down here. But over here on the bottom, it's going to be a little bit showing. I'm going to show you how to deal with that tomorrow. And then I've got this cut like this. That's for tomorrow. So let's get this cut up. Now, this is going to take all your router skills, because if you move this up, down, twist, anything like that, you're going to alter that groove. So basically, you want to take your time. You don't have to make the cut all in one shot. And you want to make sure you put some pressure down on your base so that you are always flat to your surface here. Let's just see how we make out. So this is our vinyl T-mold. And basically, you know, I know that cutting that groove wasn't, you know, wasn't that hard. And if you put this stuff in, it's actually quicker than, you know, gluing an edge down. And it gives you a little bit of a bumper. Now a couple things. Just going to show you what I do to cut it. Now you can, of course, use a knife, Olfa knife, whatever one you want to use. But this is just a PEX cutter that I have in my plumbing supply, and cuts pretty good. Nice and straight. So, with that in mind, coming around the corner, what we're going to do is I got my little snips here. Once again, you can use your knife. But I'm just going to take a little V out so that it comes around the corner a little nicer. And it'll just be better. Alright. And all we're going to do is tap this in with our rubber mallet. I'm going to go past over here and then I'll just cut it with a knife though. A little bit shine over here. Gonna pop that back out. Bring her back out a little bit more. There we go. Okay, went around that corner like magic. It was awesome. So this is 1 1/4 T-molding here. Of course, we have 1 1/4 for our substrate here, and then we have the thickness of the laminate. So you're always going to be left with a little ridge here. And it's pretty simple. You can either just tape this off, spray it with black, or you just basically take your sander and you feather it down to the bottom of your T-mold. But because this is just for my table saw, I'm not a whole bunch worried. I'm just going to leave it. It's going to be just fine and dandy. But the options are yours. You decide how you want to deal with that. That looks pretty darn good. Just got the big one to do now. We got to mark out, you can see we got some bolt heads here, and we'll just take the die grinder and just make it so that it fits there. That's just wonderful. Looks good. Now you just continue on. Take your time. These are the bolts here that are gonna hit, so we'll measure everything up, and I'm just gonna take my die grinder and make a notch. Okay, my brain flicked on there, and then I thought to myself, why don't I just use a Forstner bit here, and we'll drill a little hole. It's a little hard on it, having to go through this arborite, but So I ended up slotting those holes out so that I can drop the top straight over the bolts, if that makes any sense. Before we screw the top on, we better level this all out so that we get the screws in the right spot. So I've got my long straight edge here, and I can see that I gotta drop the feet, or the casters down just a little bit more. So we will do that. And for my wrench. It's not too bad. Okay, to screw this bracket down, I can only reach the two outside ones because there's a kind of a, you know, the table saw extends kind of out to here. So we're fastened good, so now we can just screw this down and then put her on, and I think we got that one pretty well level. I got a clamp holding her tight here so that when I put my first screws in, it's not going to move around on me. Well, I finally got her done. It was a big job. You know, we changed the bearings out on this, put it all back together, built some structure for our outfeed tables, and finally we got our outfeed tables done, and I couldn't be happier. Like, they really did turn out nice. And whenever you have a tool like this, and you know, it's safer when you have more around you, and when it's safer, you know, you feel like using it. And this is just another tool now in my shop. I know it's kind of big, but I got a plan for that. Stay tuned. And I'm excited to use it. And I just got to find some projects. That won't be a problem. I got lots lined up. Anyway, so happy that you tuned in. I hope you got some hints. Maybe this weekend you get started on yours now, and be safe. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.